everyone, and welcome to today's episode. We're going to be talking about Almost by Design by Jenny Erlingsson. So, this one is a contemporary romance and it fits within the Christian fiction category and it's a standalone story. So, why did I want to read this one? Well, I was intrigued by the premise when I saw this book and I thought, yes, this is definitely one I want to read, and it has a fake relationship in it, and I am a fan of the fake relationship trope, so I picked it up to read. So let me add my usual disclaimer and say many thanks to the publisher who provided an advance reader copy, and all the opinions that I express in this episode are completely my own. Now, I'm very excited because I have a paperback giveaway of the book, and that's for a reader with a USA mailing address, and there'll be more details on how to enter the giveaway at the end of the episode. So let's talk about the book. Almost by Design by Jenny Erlingsson is set in Alabama in a small town. And we have a number of romance tropes in this one. So, as I mentioned earlier, it is a fake relationship romance, and that includes second chances. We also have some rom-com story elements, which are really fun. And it's set in a small town, and their families are quite involved in the story. So, we have a bit of family drama to add in as well as a few secrets that get revealed in the story. So I'm going to share the first line of the book, which is this one. These shoes would be the death of her. And this is a fabulous opening line because her shoes are very important in the story, and I'll get to that in a minute. So we're in chapter 1 where we meet Kenya, who's our leading lady, and she's the maid of honor at her cousin's wedding, and it's a celebrity wedding because her cousin is marrying an actor. And these characters are actually from Jenny's earlier book, which is Her Part to Play. So they were in a previous book she's written. So if you've read Her Part to Play, you may recognize a few characters in this book, although it is definitely a standalone story and there's no spoilers for the first book. So anyway, let's start talking about Kenya. So she's 31 years old and she's an events manager. And at the start of the story, she's really career focused. She's working very hard. And there's a big promotion to get a director role where she's working the company she's working for. And so she's desperate to get this promotion and doing everything possible to try and achieve it. And there's another guy who's going for the promotion and she's trying to make sure that she does better than him and she snags it for herself. And she's also the event organizer at her cousin's celebrity wedding, where she's also the maid of honor. And I'm going to introduce you to Solomon now. So he's our hero. So he's in his early 30s and he's the eldest son, and his family, his parents are immigrants from Nigeria. Now, he's a physical therapist and he's studying to get a doctor of physical therapy. And at the moment, he's working at the hospital doing a residency at the sports clinic. And so he's in the small town of Hope Springs where the story's set. So he has a lot of family pressure, like an extreme amount of family pressure, because his parents are very wealthy. They've basically arrived in the US and they have lived the American dream and are very successful and have worked hard to achieve their success. And so they built a family business empire that, of course, they want to share with their adult children. And being the eldest son, they have some very, very specific expectations on what Solomon's going to do. And that doesn't include him working as a physical therapist. That includes him moving to New York City as soon as possible to take over part of the business. So that's where we are at the beginning. And then we have the meet cute, which happens early in the story at the celebrity wedding. And this meet cute between Solomon and Kenya is an absolute disaster on a number of levels. It's awkward, it's embarrassing. We see a bit of the rom-com elements in the story because it is slightly ridiculous how it happens. Now, these two have previously met and they've actually been on a first date, but Solomon went and ghosted her. So that is one of the issues he has to overcome at the beginning of the story if he's proposing a fake relationship to her, but I'll get to that in a sec. So, we're going to talk about Kenya's shoes. Her shoes are very important because they cause her a great deal of trouble at the wedding. And they both end up leaving the wedding early, and that's because they end up at the hospital because Kenya ends up injuring herself and she needs medical treatment. So, we have a number of problems in the story, and the first one being Kenya's injury is meaning that she's going to have to take time off work. And taking time off work for a few weeks is a major problem because of the events she's got lined up. Then someone needs to be on the ground. And so she's really afraid she's going to lose this promotion because she can't be at work. And another challenge that she has is that she has dyslexia. And that would be okay, except for the fact that she hides it from everybody and she doesn't tell people that she has dyslexia and she pretends that she doesn't have it. And so there's a lot of emotional baggage connected to that that goes back to the past and things that have happened as well. And that's something that she will need to address in the story. And she also has a complicated relationship with her mum. So her family's close, but on a regular basis, she feels like she disappoints her mum, and that's something else that she has to work on in the story as well. So let's talk about Solomon and some of the issues he's dealing with. So, this eldest son pressure, he's just really struggling and finding it really hard because his heart's desire is to be a physical therapist. That's what he really wants to do, but his parents are not going to accept that. So he's really rebelling against parental expectations at the start of the story, and it's complicated, and his cultural background makes it even more complicated in terms of the family expectations. And both of his parents are very domineering and strong personalities. So that's why they've been successful, because they have that strength of character. But he's also not communicating with them about what he really wants, which isn't helpful. So, this fake relationship is Solomon's idea, and he wants to stop his parents trying to marry him off. And he's had some really bad experiences with business associates of his parents, with daughters who they've wanted him to marry. So, he's just like, I don't want to marry someone my parents choose. And that's one of the reasons he wants a girlfriend, to try and stop his parents from matchmaking. So Kenya's really reluctant to go along with this idea that Solomon has to have a fake relationship. And the carrot he dangles is that she finds out that there's an event coming up related to his family where a business associate will be. And this is someone that Kenya would love to meet because that would help her get a promotion if she can have a contact with this person. So the carrot gets dangled in terms of what she could gain from this little fake relationship. And so that seals the deal, and off we go. And as you know, fake relationships usually end up with a disaster down the track, and there'll be some secret reveals that will make this a disaster for a whole bunch of reasons. And these two, they really are carrying a lot of emotional baggage from the past for different reasons that will catch up with them in the story, and they will be forced to deal with things. And they both have family drama as well, and their families are really important to them, and that's for cultural reasons. And they really need to navigate some tricky relationships and and really look at what's going on with how they're relating to their family and their role in their families and those kind of things as well in the story. So I absolutely love this story. It was so fun. The sweet romance, it was really cute. And once they had to, obviously, Solomon had to overcome the whole ghosting thing when he didn't call her back after a first date. And so they moved from this kind of acquaintance, fake relationship place, and then they end up in the friends place. And of course, the all the sparks and all the feels are there and the attractions there. But there's a few secrets that are going to be uncovered that are going to cause them a lot of trouble later in the story. And they both have close families, which I really loved. And I loved how we saw what was good about their close families and also what was challenging in terms of their families as well, and the relationships within their families, and also their sibling relationships, which were also complicated, especially for Solomon. And these secret reveals that happen later in the story, there are some massive consequences as well that they'll both have to deal with. And they're good consequences and they're bad consequences, and they really blow apart the whole fake relationship thing that was fake at the beginning and then kind of isn't fake, and then the whole thing blows up. So there was a lot. I really love the ending and how everything unpacked as all the secrets came out towards the end of the story. And the fake relationship, it challenged them. It made them really examine their motives, and particularly Solomon for why he wanted to go down the road of a fake relationship. And so we saw a lot of character growth, particularly with Solomon as the secrets come out and the story plays out. So the side characters were quirky and fun, and a lot of the rom-com moments related to them, and also to Kenya, because she's just a really fun character. It was so fun spending time with her in the story. And I was absolutely fascinated by Solomon's background and his Nigerian culture, and it was really interesting to learn more about his family heritage and also why his family heritage was important as well. So, my favorite book quote in the story is this one. If you make sure that God is the one who starts your work, then I know that he will finish it. So, this is a quote from one of our side characters who's talking to Kenya, and she's quite a wise person. And really, this is at a stage where Kenya's not quite sure what she's going to be doing with her life and really looks at the importance of seeking God's wisdom when you're making important decisions. And so I describe this one as having relevant faith elements, where the characters are really looking at trusting God and whether they can trust God and are they prepared to trust God and let go of control. We're also looking at truth and honesty, and they're dealing with problems related to pride. And we also have one of our main characters struggling with rejection as well, that goes back to past hurts, and there's those things to deal with too. So, in terms of the impact on me, there were lots of smiles because this story is really fun, and I really enjoyed journeying with Solomon and with Kenya in the story. And there were lots of laugh out loud funny moments. And at the same time, it really did make me think, and particularly with Kenya and her dyslexia, and as we journeyed with her and saw what she was going through in terms of what her dyslexia meant for her life, in terms of a day to day thing, it was really insightful and really interesting to see what was actually really going on with her. And I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to give away spoilers. And I also was thinking about parent and adult child relationships and how parental expectations can create a lot of stress in adult children, and the importance of healthy boundaries in relationships between parents and their adult children. But on top of that, it wasn't just about the healthy boundaries, it's also the importance of communication. And you need the parents as well as the adult children to be openly and honestly communicating with each other, or you're going to have a whole lot of problems and issues to deal with. So, in summary, I recommend this book to contemporary romance readers who like second chances and fake relationships, and who like the consequences of those fake relationships and keeping secrets to play out in quite a big and dramatic way in the story. To readers who like rom-com story elements and small town romances, to readers who like family drama and also neurodiverse characters in the story, to readers who are interested in the Nigerian culture and family heritage, and to readers who like close families and the drama that comes from having close families in the story with parents and siblings, and to readers who like relevant faith elements where you look at the importance of trust and honesty and how we all need to deal with the problem of pride. Thanks for joining me today. Does Almost by Design sound like a book that you'd like to read? Have you read it? What did you think? You can let me know. If you're listening at the podcast, you can send me a text via a link at the show notes. If you're watching at YouTube, you can like the episode at YouTube, and you can also leave a comment at YouTube. And you can email me at my website where I have a contact form, and you'll find that at narelleatkins.com. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, and you can do that at your favorite podcasting app, or you can subscribe at YouTube, and then you'll get a notification on when my next episode drops. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please share the link with a friend, especially a friend who enjoys reading contemporary romance and a friend who you think would like reading Jenny's books. Now, let's talk about the giveaway. So, I have one paperback copy of the book for a reader with a USA mailing address. Now, the giveaway will close on the 21st of June 2026, and that's USA West Coast time. And the link to enter the giveaway will be in the show notes. So thanks for tuning in and see you next time.